Hello! Hello!
Hi everybody.
Welcome to the Growth Academy.
108.
108. I need to do an ode to somebody. You're probably wondering, why is she all dressed? Well, I've got this sparkling...
Why are you so dressed up, Jenny?
I know, and I've got silver shoes on.
Oh, I love your shoes.
I've done this as an ode to Rebecca. Rebecca's on Skid Row in LA, and if you're watching Rebecca, and I doubt you will be, we're not nearly as popular as you are, but Rebecca's doing it tough out on Skid Row, and she absolutely loves dressing up, and she's an amazing, and I'm going to say woman. She's transgender, but she wants to be known as Rebecca. She is, and she can pick up things from the streets and out of bins and anywhere and put it on, and she can make anything look $1 million because that's Rebecca. She's a genius with clothes and fashion. So today I'm doing a shout out to Rebecca on Skid Row in LA. I'd like to say thank you to Rebecca because you've made me want to be more of a woman and dress more womanly. And even though I'm wearing the black blazer, but you've worn a black blazer too, I've got some shimmy on.
It looks so beautiful.
Shimmy. So I've got the shimmer going on, and it's for you, Rebecca. That's why I'm wearing it today.
So the topic you might see behind us is your parents don't define you. And Jenny, what did you want to say about this statement?
Right. Well, look, I think I was the first one in my family to get a degree. Most of my family, I mean, my grandparents on my mum's side came out of World War II, out of a concentration camp into a displaced persons camp in North Germany, and then on a boat and out to Australia. And they factory working and hospital working people worked really hard for their money, really hard for very little money. And I think behind that family, there's the generation of potato farmers, and I'm not really sure, but it's very hard to trace my family further back than that because after the Second World War, all papers were lost. So if you've seen my Facebook page on my travels, when I was in Neustadt in Holstein, I found my mother's birth certificate and I found other things that we didn't have and brought them back, so we're all grateful for that. But look, what I'm saying to you is that on that side of the family, that it was about finding a husband, getting married and having babies. That's where it was all at, okay? And they worked hard in factories. On my dad's side, they're Australian family, the history goes back to England. My grandfather worked his butt off. He worked so hard. My nana never worked, and my grandfather worked really hard. He had a garage, a quarry, a few trucks. He gave Dad a tip truck too, so that he could transport a lorry, loam from one quarry to another, and that's what they did. So really there was no one, and if you looked at the 4 brothers and sisters on my mum's side, the 4 brothers and sisters on their side, and all the family and all the kids to follow of that, I'm the only one that ever got a degree. So what I'm saying about that is I grew up in what I call the ghetto of Geelong. Nobody there were getting degrees either, and nothing like that was expected of you. But I expected it of me. I always expected more. I wanted more. Find yourself a mentor. Find yourself anybody that's living the way you want to live, so that you know there is another way. And then go get it. Go get it. Because even though, like I remember as a young person, I got a job working at Woolworths packing coals. I was a packer, I was a checkout chick, right? And I think it was my dad that said, look, you might as well keep this job because you're probably not going to get another one. I remember that.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah, I remember that. And I will never live down to those words. I've always seen myself capable of doing whatever I wanted. You are just as capable. You live to your aspirations. Your parents don't define you. If you've come from a family of rice pickers and you have dreams of it being a dancer, you go be that dancer. If you come from a family of academics and you've never wanted to be that, you've always wanted to be in the army, you go be in that army. If you've come from a family of whatever family you come from, you do not have to follow those footsteps. They do not define who you are and what you're capable of. You do. That's what I want to say.
That is so beautiful. I love it. I love it. I think claiming that for yourself is one of the most impressive things you can do. You know, that you assert your right to be yourself, that you see where they want you to go and you make a decision your way. And you know, if you choose to follow your parents, that's fine, that's your choice, but you're not forced to.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
That's absolutely right. And you know what? I learned something from Amanda at her place one day. Accidentally, she wasn't teaching me anything. She was just in conversation. But I picked up on something that was super important because you know it's not just your family don't define you. Neither does your partner. Amanda was having a conversation with her husband when I was over visiting her one day, and she said to him, "You do you. I'll do me. You do you." And I thought, holy shit, that is so super powerful right there. You do you. So even in a relationship, you've got to do be who you are and be respected for who you are and what you do for yourself. I mean, partnerships do overlap. You know, there's you and then there's them and then they overlap. Okay, and so the stuff that's in the middle is the mortgage that you pay together, the children that you raise together if you're going to have children. You know, it is the animals that you have at home. It's the decisions that you make that's going to affect both of you in your living space. But there's still you. A big chunk of you is still there and a big chunk of him or her is still there, you know. So you do you.
So I want to read this quote. It's quite old. It goes to the 60s. It's a Gestalt prayer. It says, "I do my thing and you do your thing. I am not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you are not in this world to live up to mine. You are you, and I am I, and if by chance we find each other, it's beautiful." I love it.
Bravo, bravo. And you know, it is interesting that, you know, I dedicated this outfit to Rebecca out at Skid Row in LA, because if anybody is herself, it's Rebecca. And Rebecca, regardless of what her family or friends or people or the camera or the person, shout out to Mark later, you're doing an awesome job, mate, you really are, you inspire me. Regardless of what everyone thinks, Rebecca is always going to be doing Rebecca. And Rebecca, you're more woman than I am, you're more woman than any woman I've ever met. So I wouldn't worry about anything else. Just be a woman but be the best version of that woman, okay? And your fashion, your designs, impeccable. I just love what you can do with fabric, and especially how you wear them.
Awesome, that's so cool. And we might put a picture up of your shoes. I'd like to see. I'd like to
We're going to try and go to we're going to have pictures coming up and diagrams coming up and shoes coming up. No
one knows how to do this yet, so that is hilarious, Jenny.
We don't know how to do that yet. Other people do. We don't know how to do it. If you look at Aiden.pet or Aiden Pet, you'll find that he has got this down pat. But if he gives me the time of day to teach, he's taught me this much. He's taught us this much, hasn't he?
He got the whole thing set up.
He set it all up for us.
Up.
And the next stage is getting Aiden to show us how to put pictures up or diagrams up over the top of what we're saying. Do you think he'll help? He'll help you because you're his godmother, but
he has his own life. But I just want the people to see your shoes.
Aiden does Aiden. I do me.
Yeah.
Rebecca does Rebecca, and you do you.
I do me. That sounds a bit dirty.
I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah. Your parents don't define you.
They don't. Be who you are. And honestly, if you can't look outside your neighbourhood, if you're having a problem visualising a better world for you, find somebody.
Oh, you mentioned before the mentor.
It is so important. Like, I'll give you an example. While I was living in the ghetto, my auntie had married into a real estate tycoon, and they had horses on 80 acres in Bells Beach, in Belbrae, and I learned that there is a better way to live, a much better way to live, and the freedom that came with riding those horses along the beach, it's what I wanted. Yes. It's what I wanted. And every weekend, any weekend or holidays, school holidays, that we got to go to be with Nana and Poppy, my father's parents, who had the business, the quarry, and they lived in a beautiful big house on a hill overlooking Geelong, in Bellpost Hill. Now I know how they live. Just because my parents and I lived down there, I actually could see, it was my Auntie Nola. I take my hat off to Auntie Nola, because she brought me into a world, a wonderful, wonderful world, and I got to escape the ghetto. And it was through her, my Auntie Nola, and the life that she led. Even though, she will say, oh, it didn't work out that well for me. Yeah, well, things, in the end went different ways for my Auntie Nola. But initially,
she inspired you.
She inspired me. They inspired me. They showed me a better way to live. And that there was a big world out there, and so I wasn't stuck in my neighbourhood. Again, all those people that live out in the projects, and all those people that live in and I don't know what they call them, the projects in the States. They call them the ghettos in places. I don't know what they call them in England. I'm not sure what they call them everywhere else. But I suppose a ghetto is a blanket. You don't have to be there. All you need to do is find out how other people live. And when you find out where other people live and find a mentor to guide you into another way of living, it's the attitude that you've got to take. I deserve this, and I'll find a way. And you do. You just go out and do it. If that's what you want.
What's the name of that thing? The obstacle is the way.
The obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the way. But some people that live in ghettos don't know another way to live. They've got no idea how to do anything. But see, with technology now, you can jump on and you can follow your mentor on technology. It's not like the old days when I grew up. If you couldn't get out of your neighbourhood, that's it. That's all you knew was the neighbourhood, unless you went to your nannies, your grandmas. Yeah. That was your whole world, was your family. You didn't get to, if you lived in the ghetto, you didn't have holidays, 5-star holidays. You didn't get to see how other people live, but you can now.
When I was younger, my teachers inspired me. They made me feel like anything's possible, and that, I don't know. School was always a sanctuary, I guess. But
it was a sanctuary for me too. I hated it at home. It was always fighting.
But there's also, people you see on TV and you think, oh wow, look at their life.
Yeah, but they're not realistic.
Reading books and stuff.
Yeah.
It is better if it's someone
You've got to find it in real life. You're
grounded in reality. Yeah, that's
You've
much
got to be
better.
grounded in it. You can't. Magazines and TV. I would avoid TV at all costs if I was you, because ads are pumping poison into your brain. They're trying to take over your ego. And that's another thing we'll talk about one day.
That's a great topic to talk about.
We might do that later. We'll pop that up later. But well look, we just wanted to talk about how the parents don't define you. They can. They bring you up in a place and they expect that you're not going to do much better than them, or they hope that you will, but maybe you don't. You're not set up for it. As soon as you're old enough, you make the decisions for you and you go out there and you get it.
I feel a bit like I want to say thanks to my mum who believed in me that I could go to uni, and it happened. I'm very grateful for my education.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, Amanda and I had different experiences. My family didn't expect me to get through high school, let alone anything else. In fact, I remember my dad dropping me off in a factory. I lasted 3 days. I wasn't going to, it was Grosby's Shoe Factory. 3 days I lasted there. No. Some parents can be supportive and understand the nature of bringing the best out of you, like making sure you've got all the tools that you need to go into adulthood. And some parents share an experience with you, which is their experience, and that's the experience quite often. If it's a downtrodden experience, it's one you don't really need. It's one you don't have to hang on to.
True.
Mm.
Is there anything else you want to say before
No,
we
not
wrap it up?
really. I think that's pretty cool. We could wrap it all up. If there's any questions, please send us a message. If you want to know something, if you've got any questions at all, Amanda and I will be really happy to answer your messages at any time. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe.
I
And
think you're
like.
supposed to say that every time and you say it.
I
You
forget.
say it and I forget all the time.
No, we both forget to say subscribe.
Like and subscribe,
Like
down
and-
below, leave a comment.
Yeah, and they do this and do that, but we don't have anything. We've got no boxes, you know. We haven't got that far. Okay, I'm from the dark ages. I'm leaving this up. You would have heard in the first introductory thing that Amanda's our technology queen.
The pressure I feel
I'm
right
going to
now.
hold her.
The pressure I feel.
No, we're going to share that responsibility because it is big. It is big. So anyway, that's all from us today.
Bye for now.
Bye for now. See you next time.